Welcome all to a very special episode of your favorite podcast today.
A bonus episode.
Today we are talking about some controversial things, I guess, that happened in the last week and a half. News. So let's get to some banter without some brews. Welcome to Brews and Banter. First up,
Brews.
I know. I got a bruise on my arm. First up.
I was not expecting that.
First up, we got Kyle Walker pulling down his pants in the middle of a bar.
This is a serious topic, man.
He's being investigated by police after allegedly exposing himself in a public place. Incident occurred at a bar in Wilmslow, England on Sunday. Was that March 3rd? 4th? March 4th.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You right there, buddy?
No, I'm just dying a little bit here.
Apparently, Manchester City players were given 2 days off following their 2-0 win over Newcastle United. Video footage has been circulating from the bar on social media. The Cheshire police were made aware of the video circulating on social media in relation to an indecent exposure, which allegedly occurred in the Wilmslow area, said the chief of police. No arrests have been made, but it is clearly Kyle Walker. Having seen the video, Targo, thoughts?
So, yeah, we just watched the video, and you can see he kind of, I don't know if his pants are super loose, so that's why it's easy for him just to kind of whip it out.
It looked like he just, put his legs together and his pants fell down.
It was a weird one. I don't get why he would do that. No. And, he's with, it looks like some other people. There's obviously another woman that he's fancying, I will say, in the video, and some other people. And it kind of looks like he just whips it out in front of her. Kind of
quite a few times.
A little. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah.
A couple of times. And so, I don't know. Dude,
I will say,
why do you do that?
Clearly intoxicated. Clearly.
Probably, yeah.
Hammer drunk.
But as a professional footballer, you're making millions. Why? What's the point? He has a wife. First off, let's dive into that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be putting yourself in that situation if you're that devoted to your significant other. But it's just he put himself in a poor situation. He made poor decisions, and we'll see what the consequences are. They could be severe, or they could just be a little slap on the wrist, pay this fine. Whatever, but it's you can't go doing that crap, man. Come on,
man.
You can't go whipping it out in a bar.
No matter who you are, you can't do that. Especially if you're a professional footballer of the stature of Kyle Walker. You can't. I know it's a maximum 2-year sentence in England for indecent exposure. And with the money he has, it'll be a fine, maybe some community service. That's it. Manchester
What do you think
City
should happen, though?
What do I think should happen?
You think he should be banned for some games, expelled from the Prem? What should happen?
If I'm Manchester City, I'd probably sit him down and tell him, hey, you're not playing for the next however many matches, and then probably assign him some sort of therapist, which all the players already have, but his own.
Yeah.
Maybe someone that follows
specific
him
issue
around for a while. Hey, man, don't do that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird one. It's just dumb decisions.
Yeah. And I couldn't have put it better myself. Next up, big news out of Spain. Barcelona face more corruption charges over alleged payments, this time to referees. prosecutors are seeking corruption charges against Barcelona and their former presidents, Josep Maria Bartomeu and Sandra Rosell, following unearthing of payments to the former vice president of the refereeing committee. Judicial sources have confirmed to Spanish news agency EFE. This former referee was Jose Maria Enriquez Negreira. I think I said that right.
Good job, yeah, pronouncing that. I feel like you did a good job there.
Okay. He has, up until now, been the sole focus of an investigation of payments worth $1.4 million received from Barcelona from 2016 2018. A total of $6.4 million between 2001 and 2018. These Rosell and Bartomeu are former presidents of Barcelona, not the current president, Joe Laporta. Laporta says one thing, that they've never bought match officials. Allegations are out that they did, and they were influencing results of games. I mean, you think about the time frame. They didn't need to. They had good enough squads. Doesn't
I don't know.
make any sense.
There's a certain Champions League game that comes to mind against Arsenal where they got robbed at the new camp. Obviously, that wasn't La Liga. It probably wasn't that referee or something like that. But
who knows? Could have been.
Honestly, let's go back to this last weekend. Barcelona get a 1-0 win off, and it should have been 1-1.
Yeah.
It really should have. I didn't think that was a handball. It hit his, I would say, his shoulder. It was on his sleeve of his shirt. So, I mean, this is some damning stuff against Barcelona, man.
Yeah. They're already facing enough trouble financially as it is.
Well, it's because they're paying off referees. That's why. They got no money for signings.
It must be. I don't know. Because this case is more than 3 years old, La Liga cannot press charges or force any sporting sanctions on Barcelona. However, UEFA can, FIFA can, and apparently out now, Real Madrid has filed charges against Barcelona. What do you think should be done with this?
I don't know. This is a weird... I mean, deduct them points, I guess, is obviously the most severe punishment. Send them down to the La Liga 2, Liga Segunda. I mean...
Will they play against themselves then? Play against their B team?
Barcelona B team? Yeah, I mean... I mean, that would really hurt them, though, because can you imagine, you think Robert Lewandowski wants to play in that league? No. Rafinha? No.
Pedri? Gavi?
Ousmane Dembele? I mean,
it would be almost their entire squad.
I don't see the loyalty at Barca like when it happened to Juve years back. I mean, Sergio Busquets might stay there.
His contract's up in the summer anyway, but I mean, so he might leave.
But that's bad, man. If they're paying millions of dollars to what's this guy?
Former assistant to essentially assistant or vice president of the refereeing committee. Like, that's big.
And so they're paying money to this guy's business for their Barcelona is saying it's for reports, some kind of reporting.
Yeah.
On referees and refereeing.
I don't buy it. Not one bit.
Yeah.
You don't pay someone millions of dollars for reports on match officials.
I mean, if you're Barcelona, you think you can pay someone on the side to do that?
Mm-hmm. Definitely not millions. I'll tell you that.
Oh, no, not millions at all. I mean, that's what makes it kind of damning is the amount of money it is. Yeah.
It's definitely very, very fishy, I will say.
$6 million in 7 years?
It's
almost $6.5 million.
1.4 million in 2 years, 2016, 2018, and then 6.4 in 17 years.
You know, I think it's ugly. I think Barcelona obviously shouldn't be doing that.
No.
But do you think this gets swept under the rug? Like, it kind of came out, but do you think we'll hear more of it? Do you think there'll actually be anything done? Or do you think this is, it got reported and then it kind of gets forgotten about as, other news and events comes up?
I will give you my honest opinion.
That's all I asked for.
Of how I see this playing out. I think there's this big investigation into Barcelona. They're on the verge of being found guilty. And then you start to hear more and more talks of the Super League start to appear. And then they threaten to join the Super League if found guilty.
They can go join a Super League. There won't be anyone in it.
What was that?
I said they can go ahead and join a Super League. There won't be anyone in it. It'll be Barca, Juve, and Real Madrid probably.
Yeah, I don't know. But they try to get out of it somehow. If it's true, I think FIFA will probably take action on them. They'll fight it in the court.
But realistically, what can FIFA do?
Like what you said, fine them heavily, restrict their transfers, ban them from the Champions League, and possibly relegate them.
UEFA could do the Champions League.
Yeah.
But I don't think, does FIFA have the authority to deduct them points? Wouldn't that be La Liga?
UEFA, you're right. La Liga would, but I assume,
La Liga can't do anything because it's over 3 years ago.
They can't do anything, but I assume they'll at least give counsel to UEFA. So I would assume
they could definitely hurt them in the Champions League.
And ban from the Champions League for 3 to 5 years, I would assume. Which is
hurts
just
them even
as
more
bad.
Financially, yeah.
So either way, it's not looking good for Barcelona. They're already above the La Liga salary cap. They're having trouble signing new contracts for players. They're insane amount of money in debt. And now this.
Well, they're selling off their sponsorships.
Sponsorships, TV rights, parts of the stadium.
Yeah, stuff like that.
All the things that made them a great club because it was all owned by them. So,
I remember for years they didn't want sponsors on their jerseys.
Yeah.
And I remember the first
one was UNICEF?
Yeah. It was UNICEF. They're like, we'll do a charity organization. And now they're like, no, we'll put every sponsor we can.
Spotify, we're going to do every album that hits platinum for you. It didn't make any sense. But yeah.
It makes sense because they didn't have money. They ran that club into the ground. Someone really effed up.
I don't know where they go from here. I'll be honest with you. It makes no sense. It's bad. Bad news.
Very bad.
Bad. All right. Some a little more controversial, but a little happier. 2030 World Cup candidates have been released. They got released on the 7th of March. And we want to discuss our opinions on who we think should win the vote for the over 200 members of the federations of FIFA. This will be voted on in September of 2024. In U.S., Canada, and Mexico, they're going to do 48 teams for the first time.
So many.
Yeah. I don't like it personally.
I don't like change when it comes to football.
Especially the
Not
World
this kind of change, yeah.
Yeah. You think of the, 12 extra sides that would have made it to the World Cup, and the level of quality plummets. Yes, Italy make the World Cup.
I would say it'll depend in Europe. Like you say, Italy. You might get some teams in Europe, but yeah.
But you think of the teams that would come out of Asia?
I don't know, man. I guess I don't want to judge it until I see it. I kind of want to see it first, and then obviously I'll have my thoughts and opinion.
Yeah. Well, we'll see it firsthand. So,
because I had my thoughts and opinions about Qatar, and it surprised me. Qatar surprised me. The people there, the host nation, I thought they did a good job. So,
for me, I guess the main point is clearly FIFA and FIFA don't really care about their players because they're just adding extra games onto an already packed schedule that every 4 years they have to play extra games during their time off, essentially. That's what it says to me. Moving on.
Should join the Players Union, man.
I would be happy to. At least I get to voice my opinion more often. So FIFA picked a number of countries. Saudi Arabia is one of them. They picked them to host the next Club World Cup in December.
I don't care about that.
From the 12th to the 22nd, to kind of show their ambitions as far as hosting a World Cup. So you can only imagine what kind of show that will be. However, the following are the candidates. So the inaugural 1930 World Cup host Uruguay, part of their century bid with Argentina, Chile, and Paraguay are all bidding to host one World Cup, essentially, between four countries. So
would that be a World Cup shared between all countries? Or
yeah. And all of them would get automatic bids into the World Cup.
Okay. 4, though. I feel like that's a lot.
That is a lot. And Paraguay hasn't made a World Cup in forever. So, yeah. Next up, we have Spain, Portugal, and then joined by Ukraine in the same bid.
Can Ukraine host it?
If there's any stadiums left, it doesn't make any sense to me geographically.
If they could, I would say sure, but with obviously the conflict going on in Ukraine, I mean, and today I wouldn't want to go to Ukraine.
No. In what is that? 6 years?
Yeah.
7 years? 7 years?
8. Just about. I guess 7, but
7. A lot can happen in 7 years. However, geographically, it doesn't make any sense. Portugal and Spain are right next to each other, and you got to fly all the way across Europe.
That one is weird, yeah. And that's kind of why I was kind of wondering about the South America, Chile. I see Chile, Argentina, but I guess they all kind of are right there. But
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I guess you're not wrong. Like, that area, I guess, would be smaller than what is the United States, Mexico, and Canada.
Yeah.
So.
But still, it doesn't make any sense to me. Morocco committed to taking part in the 2030. Their bid got rejected in 2026, so they immediately went for 2030. And then Saudi Arabia, and this for me is probably the most controversial. Saudi Arabia want to host a World Cup, but has led to unconfirmed speculation that they're going to do a bid with Egypt and Greece. Geographically, it kind of makes sense. However, all three of these teams are in different
continents.
Different continents, different federations. You got UEFA, Asia, and Africa.
Yeah. Versus in South America, you're in, what is it there? CONMEBOL.
Yeah.
And then in, for example, next World Cup, US, Mexico, Canada's CONCACAF.
So
those are some interesting
it doesn't
places.
Make any sense to me.
I feel like they're spreading it out too far.
Yeah. I don't.
I remember the first time we saw it was Korea, Japan.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of understand. They're not, hop, skip away over that water.
Small countries, yeah. With that many people coming in, you would want to spread them out. But Spain is huge. Argentina's huge. Saudi Arabia is huge. U.S., Mexico, and Canada never made any sense to me anyways, but...
I don't know why you wouldn't pick one, either Mexico, Canada, or the U.S. Why do all three?
Canada gets 2 locations, Mexico gets 2 or 3 locations, and the rest are in the United States. So it's the U.S. getting the bid, and then they're playing a couple of games outside the U.S.
Some charity to Canada and Mexico is almost what it feels like.
Apparently. I don't... Again, makes no sense to me.
Huh. So I guess out of those options you had mentioned, which would you go for?
It's tough because most of it makes no sense.
I mean, out of those choices, it's not tough for me.
Yeah. I would probably go with the South American countries. I mean, it's been, by then, it would be, what is that, 18 years since it was held in South America?
The last time it was held in South America,
Brazil
in 2014.
Okay, so 16 years, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I would pick
I would
Spain,
probably go
Portugal.
I probably would go with Uruguay, Argentina, Chile, and Paraguay. Just because it's the one that geographically makes the most sense, I guess.
I would pick the Spain, Portugal, and I guess Ukraine. Spain and Portugal make sense geographically.
Yes, 100%.
Ukraine, I'm guessing that's being thrown in there because of this whole conflict. And if they can have some games over there, awesome. That would be great. Help boost their economy. But yeah. So having said that, these are FIFA's choices. If you could pick anywhere in the world to have the 2030 World Cup, where would you have it at?
I feel like it'd be fun to see another African World Cup. I mean, South Africa I thought it was phenomenal. Maybe not the football, but the spectacle. But vuvuzelas, you can mute out with a remote if you're not there.
They're annoying.
It's so annoying. Egypt would be fun to see. You think all the things they could do with that around, the pyramids, and it would be fun to see. Otherwise, I don't know.
Why not England?
Why not? Why not England? It's been.
I mean, it hasn't been there since '66.
Yeah. Why not England? Europe seems to get a lot of the World Cups for me.
So let's look at the past World Cups. The last one that was there was 2018 was Russia, which I know Russia is kind of part of two continents. It could be Europe or I think it's Asia. And then before that was Germany in 2006. So, I mean, we're going back to South America potentially, and that was in 2012 versus Germany was 2002.
2014? Yeah.
Or 2006, sorry, Germany.
It was 2010 was South Africa.
Yes.
But that was also the first in Africa.
It was.
So, I would say Africa. So Egypt, I guess, would be fun.
I think a Scandinavian country would be fun too.
That would be fun. Yeah.
A Norway, maybe Sweden.
Yeah. Finland, Sweden,
Denmark.
Norway. Yeah.
Something like that. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I don't know why they don't put in for a bid. It's weird. I don't know if I've ever heard them going in for a bid. So I
feel like Italy would also be a cool one.
Yeah. Yeah.
My one concern is I feel like Italian stadiums, man, aren't good for atmosphere on TV. Something about those stadiums, man.
Because they're so far away from the field?
Yeah, they don't have the best acoustics, and so you can't get that feeling. Like, for example, in Germany, man, you can hear the fans really going on the TV, and it kind of builds to the experience watching the game.
So, yeah, Nordic countries would be fun. England would be great. I don't know why that just seems like a no-brainer to me, personally.
So
the entire infrastructure is already there.
It is.
Maybe England and Ireland. England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland.
A UK.
Yeah, UK and Ireland. That'd be fun.
So if you had to pick one, what would be your one? If you're the president of FIFA, you're
Egypt.
picking the next World Cup location. You're picking Egypt.
Yeah, I'd pick Africa. I mean, there's only been one. Why not do another one? South America and Europe seem to get favored all the time. The United States has got two. England makes sense, but I'd probably do Africa and then England. How about you?
So one that I didn't mention that I think would also be fun would be Australia.
Yeah.
During the summer, it's our June, July, August. It's their winter. So I think Australia would be a fun one.
Yeah, it would. It's a good point. I mean, that's technically not Asia. I guess they're part of the Asian Federation now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, plenty of landmass. They got enough infrastructure to be able to hold that. Maybe their stadiums aren't big enough, but I mean, I'm sure you can convert some of those rugby stadiums that they have that are gigantic. Or Aussie rules football, I should say. But yeah, I mean, that would be a fantastic pick. 100%.
So yeah, those are our picks. What do you guys think, the listeners?
Yeah,
let us know.
What do you think of Kyle Walker? What do you think of the whole debacle going on in Barcelona, or what? Where would you want to see the World Cup?
Let us know in our Facebook group.
Definitely.
We want to know. Yeah, at Brews and Banter FC. Make sure to check out the TikToks, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
The merch on Redbubble. But I think that's it for this episode.
Definitely.
All right.
Till then, my friends. We love you. Thank you for supporting. Cheers.